looks like a lake that's frozen over, and I'm not leaving myself vulnerable to any traps without reason. I'm getting a head start in the game and encouraging the others to do the same. Suddenly, a giant polar bear comes surfing in and tells them that in this game, everyone will be asked a question that they need to answer truthfully. If they don't, they must choose someone to be killed. Okay, this sounds too easy to be true, and I'm not relaxing here. The real game is something hidden beneath the surface, and you have to
Oh my fucking god.
There's no incentive for anyone to lie.
This nigga's already back in my fucking chat.
I'm starting this one off by choosing not to
Yeah, Kaden, please kick him off my chat.
Expecting traps a double meaning, insinuation, or
He has a Fortnite shit. He has Fortnite shit.
Even when we're trapped in a giant cube and talking to a giant polar bear. The first question asked is, what is your favorite food? Which they all answer easily, but the bear suddenly freaks out because someone told a lie and threatens to kill them if they don't identify the liar in 2 minutes. The players decide that this guy must be it because his favorite food is parsley.
Shit.
The bear crushes him to death. Now, I'm a classic overanalyzer.
Wade got out.
So this one would honestly scare the living shit out of me.
Come on, Wade, you fucking retarded ass nigger. Get him. Wade, get the fuck in. Oh my god. Wade. Do you know what Wade did, Kaden? He fell out and he just kept fucking hitting himself and he wanted to fucking get in.
If I don't know the truth, then neither does the polar bear. And none of us have any reason to lie. So when the polar bear says he knows someone is lying, that statement itself is a lie. And I would accuse him as a secret liar to beat the game. The bear tells them there's an imposter in the group who's intentionally lying.
Wait, no.
That everyone goes to the same school except for this girl.
He
so
does.
The imposter, and the polar bear stomps her flat. Now that's what I
How the fuck does this nigga go so fast?
You see the black patch of skin and realize that this is a Japanese demon bear. As
Okay.
the snow melts off, revealing his true identity underneath.
No, fuck you.
To their new arena where these Matryoshka dolls appear, announcing this.
You wanna play Tratters?
Kick the can. The rules are simple. Whoever is it must take the can and place it in this circle. Then try to capture the others by looking at their face, call out their name, and step on the can. Those captured can be freed if another player kicks the can, but the kicker must sacrifice his life because the can will explode. The game ends if the players avoid being captured, or the one who's it wins by capturing at least 3 players by the time the sun sets. Then they draw stakes to decide their roles, and the psychotic student is it. Everyone runs before the student kicks one of the dolls into the air, knocking the can to the ground and places it at the designated spot. Okay, hold on a second. Didn't they say that can would explode if it was kicked? This might mean it's not triggered by impact. It could be one of the game's tricks if we need to kick the can to save
And look at your subs, I subbed on 4 accounts.
I need to manage my time wisely, because finding people will be very time consuming, and I need to know how much time I have. The setting sun is too abstract, and I need to convert that into minutes. The best way to do this is to hold your fingers horizontally against the sky, in between the horizon and the sun. Each finger that fits in between the sun and the earth is approximately 15 minutes.
How about me? Emoji crying face.
The psycho student finds them first and beats them into submission. That's 2 down, 2 to go. Now, finding people who have already hidden will waste a lot of time, and by retrieving the can first, you're giving everyone too much time. If it were me, I would skip the can and quietly follow them to their hiding spots first. Once someone's found a good hiding spot, it's unlikely they. If I know where they're hiding, I can go retrieve the can and come back to their hiding spot to catch them. I would also prioritize who I should put in prison. The best person to follow is Shun, because he's going to hide with the girl, and that way I am more likely to catch 2 people at once. Shun has proven himself to think quickly on his feet and be heroic, while the other 2 are more cowardly. So if Shun here is locked up first, it's very unlikely anybody will be coming to save him, and as long as I get 3 captured, I win the game. There's only 2 players left. The psycho kid spots them and runs up the stairs. Shun escapes as the girl goes off to block the entrance, but he breaks through and captures her. Shun here is stuck trying to figure out what to do, as he's going to lose if he doesn't free the prisoners. Now, Shun's team did not strategize as well, but honestly, they have the best chance of surviving from the start. He has to see your face and call your name to capture you. By eliminating either of these 2 as a possibility, you can work the game to your advantage. So I would have covered my face with my jacket so he can't legally capture me as a prisoner. I would tell everyone to do this. No matter how much you're punched, kicked, or beaten, if you don't show your face, it will become impossible for him to win. Then there's no need for anyone to kick the can and sacrifice themselves because no prisoners will be taken. This is the best possible outcome. If someone does get caught, we can remove another win condition from him. When he's out finding people to capture, I would stay nearby to move the can and hide it. Even if he sees your face and says your name, you're not officially captured until he steps in the can. The If they had thought about this in the beginning, they wouldn't be in this hopeless situation. But then Shun here sees this old suit of armor nearby, and he gets a clever idea. He leaves his hiding place dressed in rusty armor, and it gives you tetanus just by looking at it. This is clever. One of the rules for being captured requires clear eye contact between a player and the person who is it. The helmet not only makes it harder, but the entire armor set might protect him from the explosion if he kicks the can. He's covered 2 weaknesses that gives him the advantage he needs to beat this game. But it's too hard to beat, and there's no way he can find a student. He backs away to the edge and gets caught, but this was a part of his plan. He chains the Psycho and throws himself off the wall, dragging the other boy along with him. As he sees the armor around him, he's escaped and climbing back over runs for the can. He kicks it, but it doesn't explode. His team wins, and the dolls reveal that they lied about the explosion. Now that it's all over, all the players are given popsicles as a reward. But the girl finishes her ice cream and realizes that these popsicle sticks declare who gets to die, and this was the secret final test. They only get to pass if luck is on their side. The unlucky players evaporate into magic powder, and the 2 winners are transported to the top of the white cube as people below celebrate their survival. But what do you think? How would you beat As the Gods Will? Let me know with a comment down below. Hey you! Me. Do you want to play something different? Bring it up! Try this. Whoa! Nice. Valorant is a 5 versus 5 shooter. We go attack or defend strategic points on the map. We'll have pistols, rifles, SMGs, snipers. There are even guns that look like a freaking dragon! Sorry, we can't have that until after the pistol round. Make your way to one of the objectives and grab the spike. The spike detonates after some time. If you're successful, the round is yours. If the spike is defused, you lose the round. Roll them over. On my way. Here. Enemy's quiet. Watch it here. Bunch of guys here.
What happened?
Trapped in the woods, but now cannibals are hunting you down. There's nowhere to go, and they won't stop chasing you until they bring you back home to be butchered. What do you do? When you're 100 miles away from civilization and you have no escape, there's nothing scarier than a clan of hillbillies with a taste for flesh. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the cannibals in Wrong Turn. This medical student Chris is on his way to a job interview and is already making one of the biggest mistakes of his life. Because this radio station he just changed was reporting on a bunch of missing persons cases from the exact same area he's driving through. Instead, he wants to rock out to his music. Not great survival instincts here. And he's not thinking about how this affects him. When people are going missing in the area, you should be paying close attention. I'd want to find out where they went missing so I know if I'm at least safe to stop for gas or not. And I reckon with a car like that, you're a lot more likely to get jumped. He finds the highway is jammed and he's going to be late for his interview, so he decides to turn around and look for another route, with no choice but to use the old country roads of West Virginia, where even local authorities don't bother going. Honestly, this is not a good place to take the scenic route. These backroads are old and largely
What's mission 20?
They connect the Appalachian communities together.
What's mission 20?
Easy to get yourself lost. I would have taken my car down to these train tracks to follow the dirt road beside it. It's been used commonly enough to leave a mark, and I'm sure it's no coincidence that it runs along the highway.
When Trevor goes to Los Santos, we can quit.
The interviewer know he'll be late when his signal suddenly cuts out. Okay, dead zones are fairly common in areas that aren't as heavily populated. Signals will drop if you're not within 1.25 miles from a cell tower, and there's no tower here as far as the eye can see. I would have backed the car up until I had signal to make the call. He's already late, and calling ahead lets
Didn't play Warzone, then I'm gonna head to bed because I'm fucking tired. I don't know why though.
He doesn't notice it, but there's clearly something wrong. There are way too many
I
cars
do.
in a place where no one
Okay, do you think we're about to
I
beat it in
would
under a fucking hour?
There are people going missing in the area, but nobody should be out here in the middle of the woods
You said today.
selling this many used cars. There's not even enough customers for this to be a viable business. It just doesn't make sense, and it tells me something sketchy is going on. The med student discovers there's an unpaved road that leads straight into the highway. He drives off and takes the
I don't know.
shortcut, leading him deeper into the woods, and it's one hell of a wrong turn because he crashes into a station wagon that's parked in the middle of the road. He gets out of the car and meets a group of hikers.
Bitch, remember when you went to bed at 11?
His girlfriend, Francine. They've got flat tires and have been stranded here for a while, and this girl, Jessie, has figured out why. Someone tied up a line of barbed wire to a tree and laid it out on the road. Whoever lives out here in these woods has been sabotaging vehicles. If it's me, I'm starting to think about what
You went
happened
to bed.
all the owners of the cars we saw earlier. because this can't be a coincidence. We need to get the hell
Someone
out of
invited me
here
to the
before
KO Rico
whoever made this
heist.
comes up. Now, we can't expect any of them to transform their car into a motorcycle like Emil Lorraine did in 1993. When he got stranded in the middle of the desert, he nearly died. But thankfully, nobody has to go to such extremes here, because there's something they actually can do. If you cut a hole in the side of the tire, you can fill it with something else, like straw or even leaves. Giving the wheels enough support to safely drive away far enough to get a signal and call for a tow. They decide to split up. The couple staying behind to watch the cars, while the rest are walking to look for help. On their way there, one of them spots a fire in the woods, but no one else is around. They're definitely not alone, and someone's been here recently. Okay, this is a very strange place for a campsite, and all the scrap tires and metal around tells me someone local is watching the road for unsuspecting travelers to get caught in barbed wire and stealing the car to scrap. If we couldn't drive away, I would send 3 of us to walk back to the gas station and 3 of us to stay with the car. Someone will be showing up soon, and if we all leave, the cars will be stolen and we won't even have a ride to fix. After the others leave, this girl realizes her boyfriend's missing and goes looking for him. She finds one of his shoes on a dirt path and his severed ear just a few feet away. She's suddenly grabbed by a stranger who rips her cheek open with some barbed wire. These hikers have no idea what's coming for them. Meanwhile, the others finally find a cabin in the woods and the chimney is smoking. Now, this might seem like it's good luck, but it's not. There are abandoned cars everywhere, and this is a pretty clear sign that they will be helping us fix our cars or get back to civilization anytime soon. Between the barbed wire, the campfire, and the abandoned cars, this whole situation is too suspicious, and I'm moving on to look for help somewhere else. When they sneak in to look for a phone, they find a bowl of keys, and one of them were a BMW. And in a dump like this, I know that BMW doesn't belong to them. In fact, none of this stuff belongs to you. This isn't the world's weirdest garage sale. It came from stranded travelers just like us, and this barbed wire proves it. Personally, this is already enough for me to get the f*** out. I would steal these arrows, grab all the keys, and try to find another working car before someone gets back. But these guys want to tempt fate a little longer, and it only gets worse. Finding a jar full of keys, some mystery meat in the fridge, and a human hand in the bathtub. These people are cannibals, and they don't just want our cars, they want our flesh. That's when the homeowners return, and to no surprise, with the group's cars in tow. They try to escape, but there's no back exit. They got no choice but to hide under the bed, which if you ever played hide and seek, you know is the first place to look. Then they drop off the dead body of the girlfriend on the ground right in front of them. This is truly horrific. You're trapped in a house full of cannibals who have killed your friend, and you have to watch them butcher her for meat. These are the things nightmares are made of. Okay, they didn't have a lot of options here, but just because they haven't found us yet doesn't mean they won't. With old wooden floorboards in a building this run down, it's only a matter of time before they hear the wood creak under your shifting weight. Not to mention the heavy breathing, because your heart is racing in terror, and you're even likely to urinate yourself from fear, as the limbic system bypasses the decision-making capacity of your brain. This wouldn't go unnoticed either, and you'd be caught with pee in your pants and no weapons. That's why I would consider fighting my way out. If I'm going to die, it's not because I was caught peeing under another man's bed. There are several weapons already hanging around this room that they can see, like this machete, there's some arrows, which means there's a bow nearby, and this wicked looking knife.
Which one are you on?
It's risky, but by hiding with weapons, we'll have the best advantage we'll ever get, the element of surprise. After the cannibals finish chopping up their latest catch, they all take an afternoon nap, giving the stranded hikers a chance to come out of hiding. This is an even better chance to attack. Instead of sneaking out and making enough noise to wake them, I'm taking this machete here and swinging it down with all my strength. After seeing what they did to our friend here on the table, I'm not even going to feel bad about it. But just before the medicine leaves, he realizes the cannibal has woken up. They run for their lives up the hill and through the forest until they come to this clearing full of abandoned cars. Man, how many people did these guys kill? Okay, this is where I would immediately change plans. If there are cars here, then they already know that when we went up the hill, they would lead us here, and they must be on their way. Going forward is a terrible mistake.
This guy has so many fucking videos. Like, but he's not even that famous.
Other working cars and make a plan for our escape in the opposite direction. They look around and inspect the vehicles, horrified to find the blood trails of more victims they fear. But if it's me, I'm ignoring the tragedy and looking at what I can loot. We need to quickly find something to help us survive in the forest and to defend ourselves with. I would take the climbing gear and rope and this waterproof tarp for covering overnight. The West Virginia mountains are filled with temperate rainforests.
Bro, I'm not surviving that. I'll just fucking die because I'll be like... I started once.
Even their pickup to hunt them down on foot. The group plans on taking the truck by executing a classic military maneuver, with the med student running into the nearby woods as a distraction. He gets their attention and gets shot in the leg. Well, that went well. There is a better way to do this though. The further away they are from the truck, the better your chances of stealing it. So I would want to lure them as close to the cars as I could before creating a distraction. They'll have to commit to the foot chase instead of running back to the truck. Secondly, a single distraction gets the attention of all three brothers. So I would have 3 out of 4 people run away simultaneously, which divides their attention. Then leave the last person hiding in a car. Once the cannibals have run past behind the fence, that person can run unnoticed to the truck and drive down to the house to meet the other 3. The med student wraps up his leg with his belt, and the girls help him to the truck as they get in and drive away. They stop on the dirt path and wait for the girl's fiance, but he gets shot full of arrows. They have no choice but to leave him behind. This is a tough decision, but saving 3 lives and driving away is better than risking 3 lives for a corpse. This cannibal has incredible aim. That's less than a 6-inch spread on 3 shots through the trees from maybe 15 meters away. That's really impressive, and I'm not putting myself out in the open if he can shoot like that. Even the friend has another added benefit, because as cannibals, they might want to cut the body quickly before decomposition sets in, giving us time to escape. In death, he can save our lives, one piece at a time. Later, the hikers have to ditch the truck when it gets stuck in the mud and continue the way on foot with no map, no compass, and no idea how to survive in the wilderness. Now we've gone far enough away from them and they're on foot, so I wouldn't abandon this car so quickly. This steel cage is the safest place they can be. I would spend at least 10 minutes trying to place thick branches behind the wheels for enough traction to back out of the mud and keep following the road behind. If you encounter them on the road, just run them over. This was their best chance at escape, and they ditched it without a second glance. If we really had to abandon the vehicle, I would have at least covered my footprints with leaves and branches and create a false set of tracks in the opposite direction and leave them away if they find the car. But there's another reason this was a terrible mistake, and that's the molar wound. Running around the woods is easy to agitate it and slow the group down massively. This thing could get infected, and it needs to be treated before the infection spreads to the bloodstream. So we need to find
my arm?
as quickly as we can. I would break off their rear view mirrors and use them to signal any airplanes passing overhead. If they spot the light being flashed, they can radio it in to the proper authorities and get us help. West Virginia has the highest flyover traffic in all the U.S. states, so odds are good if airplanes will be passing by. To do that effectively, you want to find a clear, flat area that's high up, as you'll have a better chance of being spotted. Combining this by employing the International Mountain Distress Signal and arranging rocks in a
jumpstarts your pet's weight loss. That's why we recommend Hill Science Diet, which helps millions of pets maintain a healthier weight. Shop Hills at Petco.
In a triangle, you'll be in a better position to signal planes for help.
Yeah, fuck this. I'm gonna hop on right now.
To a bear trap as it snaps closed and gets pulled into the air. We can't take anything for granted now. Even walking forward is a risk. But if we can predict where they're going to be, we can use their own trap against